Hi everyone, and welcome yet again to another episode on the Unique Life podcast with me, Yannik. I am so excited for another week, another episode. Not because anything specific happened or is gonna happen, but just for the mere fact that each and every day we can wake up and we can be so grateful to God that He woke us up, like that we can know that it was not our alarm. It was not the plans that we had for the next day, that the excitement that woke us up. It was none of that, but it was only by the grace of God. It was only by the love that God has for us that we have made it to another day. We have seen another hour, another minute, where we know that so many people can't even that some people can't even say something to their loved ones because 2 minutes ago they took their last breath. So it's just the little things that we should truly just be thankful for. And breathing is not even a little thing, it's a huge thing. So yeah, I just think that's one thing that we should be so grateful to God for, that we have that we have another opportunity to make things right with Him and as well as our fellow human beings. That even if we don't want to, we don't want to main things, and our pride is in the way, that we should really just remember that any minute the situation can completely turn around and it would be a different story, honestly speaking. So yeah, guys, I'm excited for this episode. Another week. By the way, I'm so grateful to each and every person that is listening. I find it kind of weird that, like, me personally, I cannot. I think it's just so, I don't know, man. I'm so shy and to listen to my own voice again, but I'm so grateful that there are people on the other end of this who actually look forward to listening to these episodes. And I just want to say that I see you guys. I appreciate you. I love you guys so much. Who you are, I think I have a clue of who some of you are. But the others, I don't know you, because you guys are so shy to come forward, like to say, hey, we listened. But yeah, man. So for today's episode, we will be talking about making Jesus Lord. It was actually a week in my DTS. I don't remember the exact title of it, but I remember that it was touching on this book, actually. I think the speaker made a lot of reference from this book by Lauren, which is Making Jesus Lord and the Dynamic Power of Laying Down Your Rights. So I read this book in my DTS, but I decided to read it again because it's just such a good book that you're like, wow, why not read it again? Because it's so packed with so much truth and, So, hey, guys, this is a lot, honestly speaking. It's a lot to digest. It's a lot to get in. It's especially if it's foreign to you, of laying down your rights. So basically, laying down your rights in a way is, I'm gonna make an example and I would explain off of the example, right? So laying down your rights basically mean that an example would be, for me personally, like laying down my right of getting offended. Like sometimes the society we live in right now, it's like you have the right, and even God He gave us the right to have these things. He gave us a right to free will and to make our own choices and so forth. So for me personally, laying down my right to be offended means that, Lord, I can be offended right now, but I'm choosing to not be offended. Basically, I'm choosing not to dwell in the offense of this other person. I'm choosing not to dwell in the offense of my brother, my sister, my mother, or any family member for that fact. And I'm choosing to forgive instead. I'm choosing to be joyful. I'm choosing to take up the right of forgiveness, So that is basically what laying down your rights is. I feel like I haven't explained it well, but in my head it makes so much sense, but I think I just cannot articulate it very well. So it as I've said, the Lord has given us a lot of rights, and one which I think I'll touch on a few of them, but one which, as I said, I've come to the point. Wow, English. I've come I've come to the point where even during my DTS week, like, I had to lay down my right to be offended, because so many times, like, people just be doing the most, and I'll be just like, I'm offended by that. I'm offended by what you said. I'm offended by what you did. So I'm just going to take up that right I'm just going to take up that offense and hold it against you. I'm going to take up this grudge and hold it against you. But then it leads to the fact of where I'm choosing not to forgive this person, even though I know that Christ has forgiven me, even though I know that the Lord has commanded us to forgive our neighbor 70 times 70, right? Something like that. But basically, to always be open to forgive, always be ready to forgive, because people are going to offend you. People are going to say stuff that take you aback. People are going to say stuff that you don't really agree with. But it's important that you come to a point where it is so easy for you to just forgive, and forgive even before the offense. Like, when you see this person is coming with their nonsense, then you can just be like, Lord, I forgive this person already before they even have said anything. I'm just forgiving them because I know that what's going to come out of their mouth is going to offend me. And honestly speaking, this is speaking to me so much right now. But it's really, it's something I honestly struggle with, and that is to not get offended. Because some things I'll just be like, how could you? And it's always me. I could be like, how could you say that? How could you do that? And yeah. So that is one. And then another one would be, even it was during this week while I was reading this book. And let me just go to where it said it so that I can quote exactly what Lauren wrote down in here. Where is it now? So basically, Lauren was of course single, doing God's ministry, and then he just really felt so lonely that he saw that he knew that he needed someone. He knew that he wanted to get a wife, and there was always this thing of him, he always have this excitement or this eye for, is this the person? Whenever you meet someone, you'd be like, is this the person that I'm supposed to marry? Is this the person that I'm supposed to marry? And he just came to a point where he really had to lay down his right to marriage. That even though God's plan could be for human beings to be married. That is the plan of God, and the purpose. One of the purposes that God has created us for is to be in community, and especially for some to be married and have kids and so forth, to glorify God, of course. So Here on page 32, it says, okay, no, I don't want to read that one now. So on page 33, it says, you must give up your right to be married and embrace God's call on your life at this particular time. And before that, it says, you may be single and wondering what this has to do with you. Perhaps you have grown up, moved away from home, and you are longing for family of your own. The same key is just as true for you. So basically, I've also come to that point in my life where I have noticed, and this is not the first time I'm laying down this right to be married, because I've done it before, but it always just, the flesh, where you'll see someone cute, someone handsome, you'll be like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, Lord. Oh my gosh, is he gonna be my husband? He likes me. Is he gonna be my husband? Or like each and every guy that might have an interest in me, I'll just be like, oh my gosh, he gonna be my husband. And then immediately I'll see like, no man, this guy is not for me, because I know what I want and I know what God has destined for me. So I'll just be like, no, unfortunately, we can be friends, but 1, 2, 3, I know that this is not destined for me. But the point I'm trying to make is that I always just, whenever I would find interest, a little bit of interest in a guy, or a guy finds interest in me, it automatically goes to the point of where I start thinking about our future, dream, kids and stuff like that. Like my mind just goes over the top. But this week I really just felt like, no man, because I'm 23 now, it sort of feels like life is moving on so quickly, and I still haven't found a person that I can be like, oh my gosh, this is a really nice guy. But I've also realized that has made me overlook, because one thing I've also noticed is that so many of the people we no longer talk because they had a romantic interest in me and I did not. Like, I saw them as, oh, you cute and all that, and I'll entertain it to a certain point, up until I see that no, this is not what the Lord has called for me to do, or for me to partake in. And then we just stop talking, because then I'll be like, no man, I don't think that this is what we need to do. So, and most of the time I feel like that person was sent by God to my life, not for us to be in whatever, like dating and so, but for me to really just pray for this person, for me to really just hold this person by the hand spiritually as they walk the journey with God. That most of the time my mind goes somewhere else and is so far away from what God wants me to do that I end up giving into my flesh, So I think that has also been such a big thing for me right now, where I really just had to be like, you know what, Lord, I'm surrendering and I am laying down my right to be married so that I can do your work, so that my eyes will not be wandering all around and just sit there like, oh my gosh, that's my husband. But really just remain calm. Remain calm in the fact that you are God and you are faithful, and that if it is your will for me to get married, it will happen. But even if it's not, I still have peace about it. And that, honestly, I may speak now as if it's a fair, it's just a good and, lovely enlightenment to come to, revelation to come to. But it's a really hard journey to come to, especially if you do one day want to have a family of your own. You do one day want to have, someone that you can be like, oh, this is my husband. This is my husband. And you'll be like, this is my wife. But then I've come to a point where I've realized that God is so much more than, or there's so much more to God and my relationship to God than just marriage. There's so much more. There's so much more fulfillment than just that. And the Lord knows my heart. The Lord knows my heart. The Lord will work things out in the way that He has destined for it to be. And I know that I will be okay with His plans for my life because I've entrusted Him with my life. I've entrusted Him with my future. And I wouldn't give my life and I wouldn't surrender to someone I don't trust. So because I trust Him, I lay down all these things and I surrender it before the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, knowing that His plan for my life is perfect. Knowing that His will for my life is perfect. And it is so much higher. His thoughts towards me are so much higher than my own thoughts for myself. So yeah, it's really not an easy place to come to when you look around and you see these people. But it is really a fulfilling and peaceful place to come to. Like I'm at so much peace even now talking to you guys. Like normally you'll be like, oh, I'm crying. I'm not even crying, guys. And at first it was a thing of, oh my gosh, I might never get married because I'm really like, God, even if I don't get married, it's fine. But then in my heart, I knew that I was like, no, Lord, I actually do want to my heart's desire was I do want to get married. But I'm also realizing now that me having that expectation, me having that dream and all that is getting in the way of what God is calling me to do. And what He's called me to do is so much bigger than getting married. It's so much bigger than getting married. It's so much bigger than falling for any guy. Because the thing is, once you don't fully lay down your right to marriage, you might find yourself ending up with a person that you guys are not even, you won't last because that is not the person that God has sent for you. But because you are in such a rush, you just want to, you fall for any guy that passes by you or any girl that passes by you. You end up falling for the wrong person. And you end up making the biggest mistake of your life because you have to spend the rest of your life with this person. And ministry is no longer fun. Serving God is no longer fun as it should be, fulfilling as it should be. It feels like a drag. So that's also a big danger that I don't want to fall into. It's just because I'm not willing to lay down my right to get married that I'm falling for each and every guy that just passes by me and eventually fall for the wrong guy, which just messes everything up. So yeah, man. And also just I feel like it was such a perfect timing for God to do that, because right now, like, there's sort of like something happening of like helping someone with their journey with God. And I just really had to be like, Lord, as I said, I've laid down my right to marriage and my mind is not there. Whatever thoughts I have, I'm giving them on towards you. I am surrendering them towards you so that I can really see why you have sent this person in my life right now. That it is not for this, but it is for that. Like, I wish I could explain in more detail, but, I don't want to talk too much. But yeah, man, like basically just coming to a point of seeing God's work as it is, saying what God wants me to do, obeying what God wants me to do most importantly, and seeing the assignment through so that I will know that my Father is pleased with me and I can be at peace with knowing that, even though, like, Lauren spoke about so many things in this book, right? And I think it all just comes down to the fact of you laying down what God has given you and you giving it back to Him. That is basically what surrendering is. That is basically what making Jesus Lord is about. Is if God gave me 10,000 rand, or if God gave me a family, like right now, like my mom, my dad, my siblings, it's all about me willing to be like, Lord, I'm grateful for the blessing that you've given me of having a family. I'm grateful for the blessing you've given me of having a friendship. I'm grateful for the blessing that you've given me of having both my parents alive. and healthy and well. But Lord, I'm also laying them down before you. I am surrendering my family untowards you. That Lord, even if it means that you calling me to wherever, that Lord, I would leave my family and trust that you, because I've surrendered them into your hands, trust that it will be well with them. That it will be well with them because they are in your big and mighty and capable hands. And that where you're sending me, it shall also be well with me because I am surrendering to your will I'm surrendering to your will for my life. You understand what I hope you understand what I'm saying. My head, it makes so much sense. That it comes to a point of where you're just giving God back what He has given you. The blessings and whatever God has given you, whatever God has entrusted you with. Being like, Lord, thank you so much for this. But Lord, I'm also surrendering it to you. If you gave it to me today, I'm willing to let it go tomorrow. I'm willing to let it go in the next minute. If that is what you want me to do, I will do it. Because it comes to a point where we no longer serve God, but we serve the materialistic and the tangible things that we can have. And that is where God is testing us to say, like, give that back to me. Give it back to me. Give it back to me. And it's not always about giving to God because you're going to receive more, but giving to God because He is faithful. Giving to God because He is good. Giving to God because He's mighty. Giving to God because He gave it to you. Give it to God because He gave it to you. Give it to God because it is His more than it's yours. It was His before it was yours, and it is still His. And He's entrusted you with it so that you can give it back to Him. And also He has the chapter where He's like, I think it's the big almighty dollar or something. Let me just check what's the title. But that is like, I think that's about the longest chapter in this book. It is God Almighty or the Mighty Dollar. And there He just talks about basically how we've come to a point where we serve money so much, or where we hold on so tightly to our money that we're not willing to reinvest it in the church. We're not willing to reinvest it to enabling missionaries to go to the ends of the world and preach Jesus, even though Jesus gave it to us. And there are so many people who are Christians in this world who have a lot of money, who will be able to, help sponsor missionaries all over the world to go and proclaim the gospel to the one, I think it's 2 point something million, to go and proclaim the gospel to the ones that have never heard of Jesus. It's possible. Christians can do it, but because it's a thing of, now God, you've given this to me, I'm going to hold on to it. Or it's a thing of where I want to give you money, but I also want to control how you're going to use it with whatever you're doing. Or me giving you money, I want something in return. I want this position in the church. I want this and that. So yeah, like this book is really so nice. I hope that you really could, if you can, like, get your hands on this book. Honestly speaking, get your hands on this book. Before I just leave off, I just want to read this. It's on page 34. It says, how much better to give up the right to marriage to the Lord in His right time, if He sees you can be more fulfilled and effective for Him with a life partner than without. He will bring the very one that is right for you and for His kingdom. In any case, as a Christian, you will want to have confidence of knowing that your marriage is firmly fixed in the center of His will. And let me assure you, He will choose a better wife or husband for you than you can. He sure can pick them. I am witness of that, Lauren says. So it's really just all about saying, Lord, you know what? It's a bit hard. I've never done this before, but I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you to do what you do best, Lord. Do what you do best. And then on page... Okay, no, that was far. It was a bit far. Sure. It says that it is not how much of my money that I give to God that counts. It's how much of his money I keep for myself. Yeah. And this was honestly yesterday while I finished reading this chapter. Because I felt like, Lord, while reading this book and, getting so much nuggets from it, I'd already decided that I'm going to do this and this and that with my money. But then I just came to a point where I was like, Lord, okay, I know I'm going to get this amount of money. And these are the things that I want to do. And in my head, it's good things. Like, I'm going to be helping people and, But then I read this and it says, tell me what you want. All I have is yours. How do you want me to use it? Only then will we see the excitement of seeing him do the miraculous to meet our needs. Then will we understand the security of being a child of God that transcends any layoff, any recession, any market slump, even feminine. So, the reason why I prayed that prayer was because I felt like these were good things to do, but I've also realized that I did not really come to a point where I was like, Lord, okay, what do you want me to do? Because I just felt like, yeah, this is good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead. Up until I had to be like, okay, God, you have given me this money. And now you tell me what I need to do with it. You tell me what you want me to do with it. And I will absolutely do it. I will completely just fall down on my face and give it back to you if you want it. If it's everything that you want, I will do it. My mom will think I'm crazy, but I'll definitely do it because I know who I'm giving it to. I know who I'm giving it to. I know that you are so faithful, that you are good, that you are a miracle worker, and that there is absolutely no one like you. So, yeah, guys, I think for this week, you can already hear like what the Lord has been speaking to me about. And that is truly about just laying it down. Family, right to marriage, finances, offense. Each and every right that He's given us. Laying it down and being like, Lord, take it again. And someone made a beautiful example of surrender. Normally, when you think of submit is, I will come and I will, submit myself before you. But submitting means that you still have a little bit of power. I still have a little bit of power to do this and that. Surrendering means that it's like a cop coming to your house and you know that this cop has high authority, he has a gun in his hand, and you are on your knees and you know that you're about to be taken and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And maybe that's not the right example to use in this case, but in my head, that is just how surrendering is like. Is you totally being like, I'm surrendering to the authority that you carry. I'm surrendering to the authority which has been given to you, the authority that you have. I'm surrendering to the authority that you have because I know that you are sovereign. I know that you are good. I know that you are faithful. And I know that you are the ruler of all of this. So I have no power. And I'm okay with that because I'm surrendering to a God that is faithful and a God that is just. So guys, that is it for today's episode. I am actually really tired, but I just felt like, no, before I sleep, I need to do this episode so that I can release something tomorrow. And I hope that this episode really gives you some insight, that it really guides you along the way and helps you. And yeah, man, that we will just continuously pray for one another, that God will help us to really just fully surrender to His will and for the plans that He has for our lives, that even when we don't like it sometimes, but we know that He is trustworthy. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Continue to show some love to the podcast. share it with other people to listen in. If you feel like it would be beneficial to them, hit the follow button and like our page. Give us a rating, as well as what else? Let me know who you are. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.